All right, everyone, good morning, and welcome to another edition of our Monday team call, Amplify Partners. Um, Thank you for joining for this week. Forgive us, last week we were in Waco, Texas. So do not have a call. We're spending some good quality time with American Amicable and learning a bunch of cool stuff that definitely want to share with you guys today, as well as some other things that a lot of other leaders we were talking about and just kind of what things can make us better. But today, I know he's probably packing up, so I'm gonna give him this nice little intro. But we do have a special guest. So from time to time, especially when you guys are doing great and doing things the right way, I like to show recognition and kind of put you guys under the spotlight and share what's working for you, what's not working. And I'm assuming, I mean, I can say so many things to everyone about what to do and to what to not to do. But when someone's having really good success, it's always best to hear it from them what they're actually doing, getting another point of view of what works and what doesn't work, and what they're able to do to keep the consistent volume of business flowing for them. So it's definitely a pleasure. I mean, Mr. Nick Hines, as he's called, Nasty Nick, on our group me chat. Known this guy for about almost 2.5 years now. So he's a real estate agent. I actually met him when I was first looking for a house, like I said, about 2.5 years ago. Started the whole entire process, and then from there we kind of became still stayed in contact, just because, like I said, in what we do as mostly doing the mortgage protection route, I mean, definitely always keep nice contacts with real estate agents, licensed loan brokers, loan officers, and so forth. So we kind of kept in contact, and we actually have a couple of mutual friends that also started insurance with a captive group that specializes in the final expense market. So that group ended up leaving, doing something totally different, and as of probably about December, me and Nick kind of started chatting and seeing how we could really work together, leverage this actual business, not only from the insurance side of it, but what he's also doing on the real estate side. So that's when that whole connection really just started for us. So and then as of late, I mean, he's just been tearing it up. So his bread and butter is definitely the final expense market. But I mean, he's a jack of all trades, from registered nurse to public notary. Like I said, licensed KW real estate agent. I mean, this guy does everything. So his work ethic is second to none by no means. So, but like I said, it's just a privilege to be able to work with him. And like I said, our main focus is the final expense side is definitely where his play money comes from, and then helping him leverage what we're planning to do on the mortgage protection side for him with his existing clients, his other real estate brokers and so forth. Really looking forward to it. So without further ado, I mean, he's on a vacation right now as we speak down in Florida, but this guy freaking deserves it. Over the last probably about 5 to 6 weeks, he's done nearly almost $19,000 worth of business, 14 of which is at AMAM. So he's definitely loving the e-app. He's using them as his first look, and it's definitely paying off well for him. And like I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg for him. So without further ado, since I want him to get back to enjoying his family and enjoying his sons down in Florida, Nick, are you there, buddy?
I am. Hey, I wanted to thank Marcus and Ashley for having me on this morning. And good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me on, Marcus.
Oh, you're welcome, bro. Like I said, I just want to just pick your brain. I mean, one, let you kind of talk for a bit, just kind of like I said, I kind of gave you a decent intro, I hope, but there's definitely a lot more to that whole story. But kind of share what you've been doing, what you haven't been doing, what's working for you. Kind of give us a little bit of the whole backstory. Then I'll kind of ask some questions near the tail end of it. And then I'll let you guys go. Okay.
Okay, so guys, basically what it is 5 years ago, I almost lost my life. I was in a head-on car crash, broke my neck, back, both my legs, ruptured my patella tendon. I have a titanium rod in my left leg, and so I couldn't pursue nursing any longer. As a lot of you might know, nursing is a very physically demanding job, and so it wasn't in the cards for me. At that time, my ex is a licensed real estate agent. She said, I think you'd be really good at doing this. You're pretty personable. You really like to help people. What better way could you help people but then help them, find their dream home and things like that. So we went and got, the real estate license. It was really successful first year. I think I sold 17 houses. It's pretty hard to do that in your first year in real estate. It's just trying to build your clientele and everything up. It's just not easy. And then, about last May, one of my good friends reached out to me. He said, I think you'd be awesome doing this insurance gig, And so I was actually with Lincoln Heritage. The guys that I was over there with, they had a work ethic where you hit 20 doors a day, 20 knocks a day. You make 15 phone calls, and you do it every day. And so for me, coming over here to Amp Life, that's not the way Marcus kind of runs his show. He does calling and then making appointments, whatever. And so for me, that's been what I've been taught, and that's all I know. So it's kind of been a transition for me. But guys, really, there's no science in any of it. I just get out there and put in the work time. I will tell you that it's really, really important to get leads. I mean, if you don't have the leads and you don't have people to go see, you're not going to be able to make any money.
What kind of leads were you working before we got partnered up, bro? I mean, how old were they from LA? Your actual leads. What kind of leads were you actually working previously?
Oh, I was working anywhere from 2 to 5 year old Lincoln Heritage leads. So, but not good at all. And a lot of this, guys, is a mindset. This field, it can be very grueling and grinding, not only physically but mentally. More mentally, I think so for me. You just got to keep. You got to keep a poker face. Just keep going.
You still there? There you go. Okay, you cut out for a bit. But so recently, I said almost $20,000 worth of business submitted. Like I said, I think it's the last 4.5, almost 5 weeks. What kind of leads are you currently working now, Nick?
I'm doing the Facebook leads from Ryan, and I'm getting some YIG leads.
Okay, so both Facebook file expense and then your YIG direct mail file expense leads as well.
Correct.
Is there a favorite between the two of them yet? I know you only got about 30 or so of those direct mail leads in, so you probably worked about 40 Facebook leads and 30 direct mail, approximately.
Yeah, honestly, it's hit or miss. I've gotten people with the direct mail. I think the direct mail are a little bit more solid. Just because you can show it to them, and I'm like, you had to sign this, you filled this out. And guys, what I usually do, honestly, I went to the market training in Pittsburgh with Marcus and got to meet with Ricky, and Ricky taught me a lot. And I strongly encourage everybody to get on the IFG University and watch all his videos, obviously along with yours as well, Marcus. But I think that's what I did. Having the little name tag around your neck with your state license and your ID, I think that gives you more credibility. Because some of these people are a little older and they're like, I don't know this guy from Adam. Is he a poser? Is he, somebody trying to rob me or whatever, because there's a lot of people that won't even answer the door, period. So, I think that was a big thing for me. And, a lot of the guys is just confidence. You gotta practice, For me, I know what my key points, I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. So I really kind of focus in on my strengths and not so many of my weaknesses, because obviously you want to get the results. But I honestly don't think there's some, magic potion or formula. It's just, you kind of get in, you get out of it what you put into it, and yeah. So
definitely, yeah. And that's going to segue into what we're talking about later on about scheduling and so forth. I know your schedule, Nick, is usually start knocking doors about 10 a.m. typically speaking, and then till about 4 or 5, or what's your typical day look like for people that
last week it was kind of crazy. It really depends. I have my kids a lot. I would say probably 80% of the time. So it depends on, my work schedule or my schedule with my kids. Do I have to pick them up at night? Do they have things going on? Do we have, stuff to do with the family or whatever? So it's just, it kind of it's hit or miss. I'll tell you, I very rarely ever work a Saturday. I just usually put all my time in. Yeah, guys, I think I do like everybody else, just get up and go and handle your business, you know?
Gotcha. No, for sure. Like I said, he's been doing phenomenal. Like I said, his work ethic is second to none, just from what he's previously learned. So a lot of times you'd say you're going to check your baggage at the door when someone's coming in from a different group. In this case, the one thing that he didn't check, being his work ethic, is something he wanted to hold on to. I mean, they had them knocking doors, like I said, 20 doors a day. That's something super crazy. And once I told him, like, dude, we don't have to do it like that, as well as once you get some fresher leads of people that actually want to go see you and they recall the letter, makes things a hell of a lot easier. Like I said, I enjoy dialing first and then knocking second, but like I said, he's definitely different. So we're still working on that, especially on the mortgage protection side. But as it sits right now, like I said, he goes out and just door knocks the final expense leads, usually starting about 9:30 to 10. Then he usually outrun to about 4. But as I said, one of the beauties of this business is having the flexibility of our own schedules to dictate when and when to not actually work, to correspond to your rest of your actual life outside of the actual business. But like I said, I'm not going to keep him on here. Maybe over for a quick question or two. Like I said, he's down in Florida spending spring break with his both of his sons.
I actually got my kids and my cousin just actually ran to the store.
Oh, gotcha.
A few minutes
Okay, yeah. Are there any questions for anyone real quick for him? If so, you can unmute yourself.
I will tell you this, guys. I'll put my number in the group me. If there's any guys you guys want to talk to me personally one-on-one, or if there's anything you think I could do to help the team, or coach you up, or if you have questions about how I just usually go to the door and I say, hey, hey, Miss Betty, my name's Nick. I'm the senior benefits specialist here in Franklin County. It looks like you reached out to us on Facebook requesting information about the state regulated programs. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, do you have a minute for me? And they're like, yeah, come on in. It's pretty much, for me, I build a lot of rapport. I feel like that is the most important thing you can possibly do. Because I always say people do business with people they like and they trust. I'll say that again. People do business with they like and trust. So when you walk in the door and you start building that rapport and you're, just talking about, I usually, I walk in, greet them, tell them, and I give them the expectations of what they can expect from me while they're there, what I can expect from them, and then what kind of, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like they just know what they're going to get because I pretty much lay it out in front of them. And then I kind of give them a quick spiel about myself. I tell them, 5 years ago, just kind of like what I tell you guys. I tell them about the real estate thing and, and that kind of opens them up. And then they, because then people are like, oh, what do you think about my house? There's just all kinds of different things. So, but everybody's got their little niche. Everybody's got their thing that kind of makes them, so to speak. So I just, honestly, I try to have fun with it. I get really, really passionate in the house. Even when I'm wrapping up, I don't just hurry up and walk out the door. I sit there and we'll talk to them and, ask them how their day is going, or, they have kids or family, or it's just, to me, it makes it seem like you're there for more than just a sale. Because if they think that you're just there for a sale and you're making money and you're not there really to help them to protect their legacy or their families, you're not going to get a sale. So I think,
or you'll get a sale and chargebacks in next one to 2 months.
Exactly.
No, well,
I let them know. I also tell them, one of the benefits that they can count on is that they'll never have to call a 1-800 number. They'll never have to talk to an automated system. They'll never have to talk to somebody that does not speak English. That's a big one for older folks that I've come to find out they can't stand that.
They're referring to them be able to call you or be able to call AMAM.
Exactly. They like the fact that they can pick me up. Another thing I do, they like they can pick up the phone and they can call me, ask me anything about the policy. I'll go back over to their house and actually sit down with the family and with the beneficiaries to kind of show them how the program and how everything is going to work. God forbid when that day comes. I also take their picture. And I take their picture right in front of them, and I add their phone number and their picture to my phone. That way, when they call me, I know exactly who it is. I'm like, hey, Miss Betty, how are you? How can I help you? And they just love it. The reason why I also do that is, gosh, I couldn't even tell you how many clients I have. I have over 750 contacts on my phone. I would say probably 100 of them, if not more, are final expense. Because when I was with Lincoln Heritage, I was there for 3 months, and I was the number one agent there after the second month. And I think when I left, I had 84 clients, almost 90 clients in 3 months. And so I can only imagine what I have now. But I think that really resonates with them in the fact that they know that it's really personable. And so then I'll make them call me, and I'll let them see their picture with their name on my phone, so they know exactly what they're going to see or what I'm going to see when they call. I also make sure that they program my name in their phone, because I don't want some other insurance company calls there. I don't want them trying to take my business. If somebody calls them or stops by, they have me programmed in their phone. They're like, hey, Nick, some insurance guy called me, blah, 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 blah. I'll go over and see what what the guy is trying to sell him, and I'll, let her compare apples to oranges. And I'm always straight up front with them. I don't really sugarcoat anything. I don't lie to them. I just, I try to make it as personable as possible. I think that, I know if it were me and I were an older, folks, that would mean a lot to me. So, and I'm one of those big people that I do unto others as you would want them to do to you. I'm a big believer in that. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. No, it definitely helps. Between John, Dean, and Connie, or even Bo, do you guys have any questions for Nick when we got him on here?
Yeah, I got one. Nick, this is John Tempest. How are you today?
How you doing, sir? We're doing well.
Great. I love your postings. I think they're great. I responded to a couple of them. Just real quick, being the busy guy that you are and a family guy and all of that, if there's ever an instance where I just want to ask a quick question or something and you extended the invitation, what's usually the best time to catch you when it's not going to interfere with your schedule?
The best thing I can tell you is text me or call me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you you can't call me past 4. You can't. Like I said, guy, I'm definitely a team player. It would make me nothing more to get everybody on this team successful and making $20,000 each month. I have no secrets. Like I told you, I think, and I told my other business partners in the past, I think what's made me so successful in this business is because I have a nursing background, which you have to be caring and compassionate, and then you have to be in the real estate, you have to be the business partner and the businessman savvy, and you got to be like the salesman type. So it's like with both of those put together, it's kind of like a beautiful blend, and this is kind of like the end result for me. It's been really working well. But like I said, guys, I think the biggest thing you could do is just build rapport with these people. Rapport. Make them think it's all about them, and you'll walk out of there with the sale. I let them know I'm going to take their picture. Another thing, guys, I wanted to tell you, and I'm not saying you guys need to go get a notary license, because that's not the reason why I got mine. But the one thing I do is while I'm filling out the application or whatever, I make them fill out their little memorial guide. That's like their blueprint of how they want to go. And so then I will notarize it for them to make it a legal document. So, God forbid something happens, you get a disgruntled family member, it would hold weight in the court of law. So, I would just have them do that. If you don't have your notary license, say, you can go to any bank, they'll do it for you for free. A lot of older people don't realize that. But Yeah. So, but yeah, guys, you can call me any day, time or night. I'll actually put my phone number in the group me, or Mark, you can get it off Marcus. Any questions?
Yeah, post
concerns,
inside the group me chat for sure. That'll be perfect. Any other questions, guys? Any comments?
Yeah. Marcus,
Go ahead, Connie.
thank you. Hey, Nick, thank you for your time today. I have one question. When you're dealing with your Facebook leads, have you had any of your potential clients think, based on the wording of the lead, that the quote benefit is free?
Yeah, honestly, you're gonna get that with anything. I've even got that a few times with the direct mail leads, because it's, you know, everybody's got a perception of something. You know, everybody's got a perception. Your perception of something or one thing might be different from mine. You know, the majority of the people have the same perception, and they know what the heck it is. They know it's not for free, but you get those one or two people that are just like, oh, I thought it was free. I thought, you know, and then I go into it, I'm like, well, what the ad is trying to say is, we're just trying to make you aware that what you or your you know, your spouse or whatever, the Social Security benefit that the government gives you out, which is $250 or $55. And then I let them know you would only qualify that if you have a living spouse or a child under the age of 18 in the home. And then I tell them 90% of my clients don't have either. So, you know what I mean? And then I just I lay it out there. If it fits for them and it's good, great. You know, then we sit down and have a conversation. If it's not, on to the next one. I don't sit there and try to, guys, it's really a numbers game. I mean, the more people you go see in a day, the more activity you're going to get, you know. The more people you get in front of, the more sales you're going to obviously make. I mean, I will tell you, it's been getting easier and easier every day. I just feel like I go out for a few hours, and the first place where I hit, I'll get in and I'll make a sale. But it's not always been that easy, trust me. And for me, it was a huge transition from Lincoln Heritage to here, because Lincoln Heritage, I had all the marketing and all the support and all the flyers and just everything. And here, it's like you're a broker, and I only have like half the carriers. I'm still waiting to get a bunch of carriers not only added to my tool belt, but to get transferred over from my other IMO. So that's really put me in a pickle. So yeah, you're going to definitely have that though, for sure.
So you just explain it to them, and if they can't afford it or don't want it, you just say thank you very much and next.
So you guys probably all got the little cardstock card that Marcus makes out or has his name and stuff on there.
You talking about I am your policy? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
All the different carriers? Yeah.
The one.
So I actually keep.
I'll show it to you so you
Okay.
can see it.
All right.
Wow.
So I actually will pull that card out, and they're like, well, what is this about? What is this about? And I'm like, well, it's life insurance, but it's burial coverage. It's like a burial plan. I'm like, and then I pull that sheet out, and then I say, you probably have noticed some of these carriers, like Mutual Long Haul, Transamerican. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, so we're actually partnered with these carriers. But my loyalty doesn't lie with any one of these carriers. My loyalty lies with you, your family. And then I just kind of, you know, and then, you know, I asked them, I'm like, is this what you were requesting? Is this what you thought it was? And they're like, yeah, come on in. And then it's just like I told them, I'm right up front. I'm like, you know, well, do you want me to act like I'm going to the door and how I get in? Is that?
Yeah, that would be good.
So I just go up and I'm like, hey, Miss Connie. They're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, Connie, my name is Nick. I'm the Senior Benefits Specialist here in Franklin County. It looks like you reached out to us on Facebook requesting some more information about the state-regulated final expense programs. And then I have it like on a clipboard, and I'll like let her see it, show her that she did put the information in. Same thing with the YIG leads. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I remember this. I'm like, okay, you got a couple minutes for me? And they're like, yeah, sure. Or sometimes like, yeah, I'm actually in the middle of something. Can you come back? Or then I'll try to set up an appointment. Now, I never try to set up an appointment more than 48 hours out. just
Uh-huh.
because they forget a lot of different things could happen. So, and guys, trust me, I get more no-shows than anybody. But once again, I hit enough houses to where it doesn't even affect me. So, does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
But then once I'm in, I'm just like, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I tell you what you can expect from me, what you can expect from the companies, the carriers that we, and then I tell them, like, we choose, like, which company can I just choose which one? And I'm like, no. Well, so everyone has their niche, and every company has their thing that they're good for. And I said, well, like, if you have COPD, Liberty Bankers is really good. They'll take day one coverage. Another thing I also say, guys, I really, really stress upon that a lot of these people are, in their 50s, 65, 70, they're getting a bunch of life insurance junk through the mail. And so they think that that's great insurance. They think it's great stuff. And I really try to educate. For me, it's all about informing them and kind of educating them on everything and making them feel like, wow, this is something I do, but really having control of it the whole time, because I'm kind of like manipulating the situation, if that makes sense.
It does.
To kind of get them to do what I want them to do. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're walking down the whole path, but while you're doing, you're still educating them and letting them learn how this stuff really works and how to operate. So I do the same exact thing on the mortgage protection side of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I tell them, I'm like, anything you get in the mail, you're on a 2-year contestability, or like if you're the ARPs, the Globe Life, the MetLife, the Physicians Mutual, anything like that. And they're like, really? And they're like, no way. And they're like, well, I got one of those policies. I'm like, well, go get it. And then they'll bring it out here, and then I'll show them right in the fine print where it says the policy won't pay out for the first 2 years, and they lose it. And I'm like, but these carriers right here, because I'm a field underwriter with the state, like, we can get you day one coverage. So I'm like, not only does it help you with your monthly premiums, because that's a guaranteed issue. This is we're actually going to ask you 9 simple health questions, and I explain them the process, how it works. We're going to ask you 9 simple health questions. We're going to run your Social Security through the MIB, and then I explain it to them what the MIB is. And then they're like, wow, this is awesome. Like, then they feel like they're empowered, like they have, like, this is good stuff, And then I go into telling them about the memorial guide, and, have them start filling it out. I'm asking them who's their beneficiary. And I'm like, God forbid if you passed away last night. Another big thing, guys, that I just now thought about is I really try to focus on their why. So when I said, you have a couple minutes for me, and they're like, yeah, come on in. So I'm like, so Miss Betty, what was on your mind? What were you thinking when you requested this information? You just recently experienced a funeral lately. What is your goals here? And then I start writing kind of policy, what I put them in, and then I kind of do the risk assessment, then I will go into, kind of medications. But I think for me, building report and getting their why, letting them hear them saying, and then I ask them, so God forbid you passed away last night, whoever the beneficiary, because by then I'm already telling I'm already asking them, I already know the beneficiary, and I keep reverting back. So would Connie have the money to bury you last night? And they're like, no, they don't have that kind of money. No, like, yeah, right. Most of my clients don't, who has anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 laying around to just bury someone just, on a rainy day, not money. And then it kind of gets them thinking. And then I tell them about my story. I'm like, 5 years ago, I was in this really bad accident. I almost lost my life, and then I kind of give them the backstory on me at that point. And then it scared the life out of me, because I didn't have anything in place. And if I would have died and left my kids with nothing, and, so now I have all kinds of things in place. So it's just, and I kind of go, it's not the same every time, because I kind of go with the flow and how they are, feeling and acting. I think it's hilarious. Most times I have these people that are like, I'm not buying it. I'll hear you out. And the ones that say I'm not buying anything are the first ones that I can get to buy it every time. But I honestly, guys, you got to create the why, figure out really what's their purpose of doing this, because then that way you can kind of like, basically I go for the juggler, because once I figure out their why, I'm hammering. I'm like, well, how would they, how would they take care of this? Would they do the GoFundMe pages? Would they do the fish fries? Are they going to do the car washes? No, and I tell them a lot of stories. Being with Lincoln Heritage, there was a lot of stories that we because there was breakfast calls every week, and I would just take other people's stories, guys, and make it my own. Like I was, like, and people can resonate with stories. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is rapport, why, and stories, and just making it as personable as possible, really. So that's all I got to say. I'm going to keep talking. If you let me talk, I'll be here all morning talking.
That's awesome, man. Any other questions for him, guys, before I let him go and go enjoy the kids on spring break?
Like I said, guys, I'll put my number in GroupMe for everybody. And so that's crazy. You said I did 20,000, Marcus, in 4 weeks?
It's pretty damn close. Yes, sir. About 14,734 with Airman, and I didn't count the United Life, the Foresters, was a couple trans apps. So yeah, it should be about 20,000.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Hoping to make it even more the next month. So, guys, man,
you have a question, John?
Anything you guys talk about? You guys want to?
Yeah. So you're very, very busy. It looks like running leads. How many leads do you get? Obviously, you get plenty of them a week. What's your status on that, Nick?
Honestly, who am I talking to?
John Tempest.
John, honestly, it's funny. I really don't even know.
Well, that's good.
Well, this is the thing. It's like I've been working old leads for so long, and when I was at the other company that I was with, I was working their old leads, and so I came over, and it's been a struggle trying to get all the contracting switched over and stuff like that. So, but I would say a good number to run per week would be 25. That's what I was running at Lincoln Heritage, and I think if you can get through 25 leads, and because if you do 25 leads a week and you're door knocking every single lead, calling them, getting in front of them, getting it. So I always say I want an answer. I don't care if it's yes, no. I don't want to take a maybe. I'm not here to get a maybe. I want yes or no. Flat out. I don't want to say. And if they say, well, I want to think about it. What's there to think about? Do you have anything in place? No. The need is here? Yes. Are you going to die? Yes. Do you know when you're going to die? No. And that's another question, guys, I ask everybody. I'm like, you know your birthday, right? They're like, yeah, I'm going to rattle it up. I'm like, but do you know the day you're going to die? I'm like, no. Like, exactly. That's why you need insurance. But if I had to guess, I would say 25 a week, and then you T-knock every week. And when I say T-knock, a traditional T-knock, guys, is like each house on each side of the house and 2 across the street. I don't typically do that. I'll drive down the street, and whatever street the lead's on, if I see a car in the driveway or a light on in the house, I'll go and hit that door. I'll give you a crazy story, and then I'll let you guys go. But so I was working with Lincoln Heritage, and I had this lead, and I asked him to knock the neighbor across the street. Well, the neighbor, she wasn't home, but the little girl was. Well, they had these little door flyers that I would hang on the door. This lady called me and was like, "You try to walk in my house, you're lucky I have to kill you," and all this stuff like that. I'm like, look, man, I would never do that. I'm just sitting here trying to, I'm the local insurance agent here. And at the time I was in Dayton, Ohio. So I'm like 2 hours away because I work out of town too, guys, because, sometimes for me, it's easier if I work out of town because then I can't get distracted from my kids, my family. Hey, can you come here? Because my family knows that I have my own business, and so I can make my own schedule. So they're usually the first person to call and be like, hey, I need to do this or do that. So the best way to avoid all that is to work 2 hours away. So this lady was like, I'm going to kill you and all this stuff like that. I'm like, man, don't. I'm like, but now that I got you on the phone, I'm like, I was just wanting to see if you had anything in place. And I'm like, do you need life insurance? She said, you know what? I was just talking to my husband yesterday. She's like, can you come back and sign us up? I'm like, you promise you're not going to kill me? So I went back and signed up the husband, the wife, and the 3 kids after she threatened to kill me.
Yeah, I had a guy threaten me with a gun once. It's too much, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I'll do 25 a week. And, obviously, until you get your money right, I would do Ryan's. Ryan's are really good and accurate. And just do the T knock around them. And then that should really get you going. And then, once you get handle more, the one thing I will say about the Facebook leads is if you're going to get them, I wouldn't get them and let them sit them. You got to get them and call them right away and door knock them right away, because these older people, they will forget and they won't remember, or, I get a lot of that.
Nick, then I got one other quick question. That's very good. What's the story about the telemarketed leads? Do you not like those, the ones that they have the recording that go along with them? Have you had any?
I haven't even seen them yet, John.
Sorry? I honestly have not touched any of that kind of stuff. The only thing I do is Facebook leads.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right.
Yeah, we're still growing that. So he's ordered approximately about 40 Facebook leads, and then a 50 drop of YIG leads, which are the direct mail, $31 a piece, I think. The 50 drop, where it's upfront 50 leads. Bill's not due for 8 weeks. So like I said, we just got him off of he works on my B leads. He made a handful of sales off of my old Facebook leads from about 3 months old. So that's what got him kickstarted and flipped that money into some fresh Facebook leads, and now we're on to direct mail leads. So once he gets through, we got about you got 30 of those? You probably got another 20 to come or 15 to come or something?
Yeah, something like that. And guys, don't get me wrong. Honestly, the reason why I made this move is because I really enjoy real estate. And so my end goal is to be, not really take Marcus's place, because nobody can take Marcus's place, but to be one of the top guys in mortgage protection, because that way I can kind of piggyback off of both. And I'm actually I'm talking to a friend of mine, and we're actually got some ideas that we're going to unroll for the real estate part. So that's the real reason why I wanted to come over and join Amplight Partners is for the MP, not the final expense. But final expenses, that's what I was just doing solely at Lincoln Heritage, and that's what I kind of just picked up real quick and learned to make me some quick fast cash while I'm trying to figure all this other stuff out. So with that being said, I do appreciate you being patient with me, Marcus. I know you gave me a boatload of leads on some MP and stuff like that, and I haven't even looked at them. And I really appreciate you saying I'm such a great worker and all this stuff. But honestly, guys, I'm like everybody else. I have the days where I don't want to get up out of bed, and I'm lazy, and I want to put things off till tomorrow. And we all are guilty of that. Especially when you're your own boss. But you just got to try to be disciplined as much as you can, and then you kind of go from there.
Awesome, appreciate it, man. Well, yeah, like I said, Nick, go enjoy spring break. Thank you for doing 40 minutes. We really talked about doing 10 minutes, so that's very awesome. I appreciate you telling the story, and as well as telling some of your behind the scenes of what you do inside the actual field. So I hope that helps a lot of different people. We're going to talk about scheduling. I'm going to hold it off until next week, to be honest with you. That's nothing to follow up with. So, Nick, thank you. It's a big thing. The big takeaway is activity. Activity will breed the results you actually want. So how much you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, as well as having a consistent lead flow, whether it be B leads, whether it be T knocking the houses, something that's consistent, or B leads even. You get some $1 to $3 leads. There's options for them all multiple sides of it, whether it be final expense, mortgage protection. Just having people to go talk to and doing it for the right reasons will definitely always trump any type of bad business. So just go out there, do it the right way. Results will always come. Numbers never lie. So that'll be the big takeaway, and like I always strive for is activity. So personally, on my end, I'm trying to do, while I'm dialing fresh mortgage protection leads, I'm trying to do $25 to $35 a week. Does it always happen? No. But as long as I know if I make those same number of phone calls, my outcome of 7 to 10 appointments should typically always happen. If not, and I don't hit my numbers, the only one to blame is me. No one else. Even though you guys don't call me 20 times a day, I can only still blame me. So just keep that in mind. Keep your activity level high, as well as get in front of as many people as possible. And but like I said, until then, thank you again, Nick. I appreciate you taking time out and go enjoy some boating for me today. And then I'll see you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Marcus.
You guys take care.
Yeah. Guys, one last thing. I don't know who all lives in the Columbus area in Ohio, but if anybody's ever in town, they want to go do a ride along with me, to see how I actually do things, one-on-one, I would be more than happy to take any of you guys on. So just give me a call. Let me know.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. And One Life convention in Charlotte, North Carolina is 2 weeks out. So if you haven't registered for it, me and my wife are going to be there. My wife's actually speaking at it on the women's event. So she got the privilege this time versus me. But if you guys are coming, we'll definitely see you guys there, and we look forward to it. But once again, if you haven't registered, there's a couple emails that went out today, as well as there's a link on Adam's video from earlier today. So until then, you guys take care. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.